Now,
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the AeroGents podcast. This is episode 3. We are going to take you on a roller coaster ride today through stuff you never knew, you wanted to know about, or ever heard of in your life. You didn't know it was happening, but you're sitting here and experiencing it now. So get ready, strap in, and bring lotion.
wait. Wait. Why do they need lotion?
You never know. Just keep the lotion handy. You never know. You might get ashy. You might need a rubber dub. I don't know what you're going to do. It's up to you. But we going to get into it. Oh, yes. Oh, God. It's a wonderful day. Oh, man. DJ, how you feeling, my man?
I'm feeling pretty good right about now. Except I'm kind of scared about what you plan on doing with that. What the hell is that shit?
Hey. Wherever it goes, that's where it goes. That's how it happens. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do it that way. So anyway, again, welcome. This is episode 3. We're about a month in. This is awesome. Thank you for watching, subscribing, supporting, following. Shout out to our unofficial sponsor, Flipboard, for giving us the format to organize our news. And hopefully they'll sponsor us. I don't know how, because they don't really sell anything. So there's nothing I don't know.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I didn't think we'd make it this far.
You know what? I don't think anybody thought we'd make it this far. The people who watched the first one was probably like, what the hell? That was fun. But we're back again and again and again. So I guess we'll start here. I think this one, I kind of like this one. Oh, wait, before we jump into that, back up, rewind. DJ, something very, very major happened to this week in gaming. Would you like to tell us what that was, sir?
I'm confused. I need to know what this was.
What do you? Oh, really?
Are you talking about Drake?
Of course I'm talking about Drake.
I'm sorry. I was busy playing. I didn't know what you meant by something major happening.
What are your thoughts on the game so far?
Amazing. It hasn't been a waste of my time yet. But I'm not hearing... I haven't heard any spoilers. I'm hearing rumors that the ending may disappoint me. I'm hoping it's not true. I don't want to feel a Mass Effect feeling again, where I'm just like, this game was the shit. It was awesome. And like the last 15 minutes, you know what? This is a waste of my time.
Yeah, I put a little bit of time into it. I gotta say, honestly, so far it's crazy. One of my greatest features about the game is Naughty Dog did something crazy, and I don't think they did this back with The Last of Us on PS3, but I'm pretty sure this was implemented on the PS4 remastering and on the DLC, but I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, but the option to have photo mode, was that in the PS3 version of Last of Us? Okay, so I didn't think so, but I remember it being introduced in, I think I first saw it on the piece of DLC that came out, Left Behind, when I first got my PS4, and I got that little add-on there. What's really cool about this, though, it's like the game is already cinematic enough to the point where in most parts of the game, when you're doing anything, you're walking somewhere, you have some normal actions, there's really nothing on the screen. Honestly, you could go through, and on your PS4, you could go from any scene in the game and hit the share button and take a screenshot, and there's going to be clean with like no HUD or anything on it. But the photo mode on there goes so in depth and beyond that. You can change field of view, draw or depth of field, add filters, frames, change the camera angle, tilt the camera. So many different crazy things you can do. And then on top of that, you can actually edit who is actually in the scene. So by just off, just from when go into the mode, the camera isn't a free cam. It's hugged sort of in a way to Nathan Drake, but you can turn it and twist it the way you need. But what's really cool about it is the ability to like disable different characters in the scene, and then up to and including Drake himself, to the point where either you can have just a screenshot with just like background characters and Drake's not there, or you can have just Drake by himself, or you could have you can hide like allies, you can have anything. So you can almost take screenshots that are not really legit screenshots from the actual way the game is being played. And like, that's really cool when you consider like the art capabilities of it. Like, say I wanted to go in and use one of the backgrounds, and then I found like a different, character that I think would fit into that game, and I wanted to go in and go on Photoshop and do something. Or say I wanted to go in and there's a scene where he's, talking to somebody or having a fight with someone, and I want to go in and turn that character off, and then I can, take that image, export it, put it in Photoshop, and make it where he's fighting Scorpion instead of random guy number 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's like really dope as a feature. No other game really does that. So that's a really incredible thing to have.
So, how far have you actually progressed in the game?
So far I have, and not to have any spoilers, I believe I'm on part 3, or chapter 3, it would be, I guess. A part you would recognize without probably spoiling anything. There's a scene where he and his brother, who is known to be in the game, so that's not really breaking anything. His brother, and this guy they're working with get into a bit of a confrontation, and the guy that they're with does something kind of unexpected, and then they have to try to make a getaway.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's the part where I'm at. I was like, right when that getaway started, I paused it, and I was like, all right, time to go to bed. Because if I would have did that, I'd have kept going, and it was late, and I needed to get to work. So you know how that goes.
Yeah, I sent you that message early in the morning. What are you doing up?
Hey, some things are worth, taking some time to appreciate. That's one thing, when you get into it, you got to get into it, man. I just love. I got to be honest, okay? Now, you know me. I'm the Xbox guy of the crew, and you're the PlayStation, you're the Sony guy of the crew. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, for some reason, and I guess it's just because of how disjointed the legacy of Tomb Raider has become, and how awesome this one has been and how relevant it's been lately. I'm more pulled into this world at the moment. Like, there was a point at which I kind of stopped playing Tomb Raider, not because I felt it was bad or anything, but because I got to a point where I was in an area, and I like to try to go and clear all the collectibles before I try to move on. And in the area I was in, it was just so huge. I was kind of overwhelmed at that point. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I could play this game for like a few minutes and try to find some stuff, but like, why would I really want to do that right now? So I was just kind of pushed it to the side. I think I'm going to like play Uncharted 4 like straight through, and just like knock it out in a single run, and not get to a point where I'm putting it down in the middle of the story. I hear the story's I hear the game's relatively short. I heard like 12 to 14 hours maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I've probably put more time into Tomb Raider than that already. And I don't know if that's with or without collectibles and finding everything, but I do like the way this game looks and the way it plays, and the way they implemented basically a tutorial into the game. Just kind of as you go along, they progress the game with the progress the story with tutorials on how to do certain things, which is pretty good, and it just seems so fluid and not like forced, you know. So people who haven't played get a sense of how to play it, and you're not really. It's not like handholdy. It's kind of just like, okay, so
Yeah,
now
someone
you're in this.
who's into the series could actually play without knowing prior mechanics to it. I mean, they would need to know the story. That's the reason to go back and play other ones. But mechanic wise, they would need to play the other games just to get this one.
Right. So, look forward to some more impressions coming on that later on down the road once we've both finished the game.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna probably finish that tonight.
You probably might. Hey, whatever. But you know, it's a week to the next show. I might finish it by then. And since we're on the topic of this game, right quick, forgive the unorganization of the magazine here as we flip through to tell stories here or give you the news and present the news. But
wait, where are you going? Are you going to Activision, like the Call of Duty type thing?
No, I was going to the Phil Spencer thing. But anyway, long story short, I mean, we really don't need to get into this article too deep, but Phil Spencer came out and gave mad props to Sony and to Naughty Dog for putting out a great game. And it's really good to see that, you know, especially with all the stupid fanboy stuff that goes on, that at least these companies, even though they are competitors, it's healthy competition and they respect one another, and they're about playing video games and making great games. They're not about beating, you know, somebody else over the head, you know, talking about, oh, we did this, we did that. I mean, of course it's competition. You're going to want to, you know, put your best foot forward and be the best you can be and be better than your competition, of course. But there's a way you can do it and be very sportsmanlike, and Microsoft has shown that throughout this whole console generation, especially with the fact that, you know, Sony's way ahead of them in sales. But it's still early in the game. I think the gap will close, that the distance of how far ahead they are in sales by the end of the generation will have closed quite a bit, considerably. But we'll see. And again, it's not even about the console sales. It's about the software. It's about the games they put out. It's about how they keep the gamers involved in their ecosystem. So shout out to Microsoft, and props to them for being good sportsmen when Sony is currently stumping on their head in sales right now. So yeah. Now, let's get to this nice little article here. It's just a little something fun. Nothing really news heavy, tech heavy, or anything like that, which this episode is probably going to be very tech heavy due to some things we'll get into later. But so you got here this nice little article on different movie trailer or movie posters for, I guess, that are just not necessarily for movies coming out this week, but I guess that were just released this previous week. I saw this one and was instantly like, oh yeah, that's Jason Biggs. I know Jason Biggs, awesome guy. I don't know what this movie is. It looks interesting. If you had to guess what this movie was just from this poster, tell me, what would you guess? What is the plot to this movie, Amateur Night?
I don't know. Either I see something about strippers, either BDSM, and maybe he don't know what he's gotten himself into. But it says every job, so I don't know. Maybe he's like a boyfriend for hire.
I don't know. I'm getting this vibe like, because when it says every job, I don't know. I think it's like him maybe trying to go and like he's like unemployed at the moment, trying to find jobs and end up getting into some ridiculous stuff. And maybe there's a point in when he gets involved with a stripper or something like you said. I think that's probably what's going on. I don't know. We can look into this and figure it out probably. Ashley Tisdale's in it. I know who she is. Bria Murphy. Is that Eddie Murphy's daughter?
I have no clue.
I forgot what his daughter's name was. There's somebody who's named Bria, but I don't know if that was her. I think it was a different celebrity had a daughter named Bria. I could be wrong. But anyway, Jenna Montgomery and Jenny Molin, I don't know who they are. But I don't know. You know what? It might actually be something dealing with strippers or escorts or something, because honestly, aside from Jason Biggs, the rest of this cast here that it's naming is actually female, just based off of context, I'm sure. But I don't know if any guys named Janet, Jenny, Bria, or Ashley. Actually, there might be a guy named Ashley. I think Ashley is one of those names that ended up becoming unisex somehow. Amsel, I don't know what that's. I don't know. I couldn't even begin to tell you. Something to do with art. I don't know. The ones that kind of drew me in, I was reading a little bit on it. The ones that kind of drew me in, there was a couple. I heard about the Ninja Turtle ones. And of course this here.
Ooh, I can't wait for it.
Man, you know what? I haven't seen any of these movies. But I've always wanted to, so I think I'll get into it. Tom Hanks is back for a sequel to Angels and Demons, which was the sequel to the Da Vinci Code. If you don't know, that's it's dealing with the end of days. It's dealing with the biblical end of days and finding texts that unlock mysteries of what would happen or prophecies. Is that accurate?
Yeah, if not generalized, but yeah, still accurate.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, well, general, like I said, I haven't really seen it but yeah, that's what I kind of understood the premise of it to be. So this one's called Inferno. And this is based off of novels too, actually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Based off best-selling novel. So I don't know if there's a novel for this as well. I'm pretty sure it would be. It's usually how these things work out. So, look forward to that coming out. Here you have, I don't know, some little animated movie. I don't know who's making it actually though. It looks kind of Disney Pixar-ish, but not sure. It doesn't even really have a publisher, I guess, or I don't know, Focus maybe. Not sure what this is, but it looks like something to do with old-timey stuff. There's a magnificent Seven here. Poster art. And I gotta say, what's with this thing with like, so I watched a little bit of, or I watched most of, did you see the Adam Sandler movie that was on Netflix?
Ridiculous 6?
Yeah, Ridiculous. So there was Ridiculous 6. No, there was, oh geez. It was Magnificent, or yeah, Ridiculous 6. Then there was the Hateful 8. Now there's a Magnificent 7. Like, are we having like a number, like adjective number, like movie thing going on? Is this
not exactly? The Magnificent 7 was based off an old time cowboy movie also.
And what was Hateful 8? Was it a redo or remake or a novel adaptation?
No, remake. Like it was an actual thing, like a TV show.
Okay. I just think it's funny that you have like all these movies and it's like some adjective and a number, and they're all different numbers. Like I'm waiting on like the Poor 4 or the Free 3 about like some slaves who like got with Harriet Tubman and was on the Underground Railroad, or I don't know. Like I don't know. And then you could have the Blue 2. Some like aliens from outer space. There's 2 of them this time instead of just one like ET. Mm. So yeah, that's a pretty cool one. Moving along, there's something here. Not sure what it is. Not. I don't know what this is, but I love this art. I love it. It's kind of it's creepy, but I love it. They did. I like that style of like most of the art being like grayish or like having a black and white monochrome look, and then there's just like splashes of color for certain different parts of it, but the most majority of like what the focus of, I guess you would not even really what you could consider the focal point of it, because honestly I would consider the color the focal point, but you know, you take all the color out of most of it, and then you leave splashes of color in there to add this visual interest. Um, some call the Neon Demon, and I probably could have looked into some of these afterwards, but whatever. And then there's this. So I don't. I guess this is okay. So this is two posters for the same one. I didn't realize the first time, and this looks like a foreign film as well. Um, I from this, I'd guess she's probably a stripper or something. She looks, I don't know. She's at nightclubs killing people. But these here, these are the ones that got me. And I was like, I was reading them and I was like, huh? And I didn't know what was really going on at first. So there's some movie coming called The Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't. This is my first time hearing of this. And I'm like, there's like a poster for like, I guess each of the main characters, and they're like, it's so of course with this one you see it's like sweet and sassy. The rest of them, they're similar to that, but some of them even take like a 2-word phrase and interject "and" in there, and it kind of sort of gives it a different meaning, but not necessarily. So you have this girl here, she's sweet and nice, and then you have Kim Basinger, she's calm and connected, and then you have Keith David, the man Keith David, and instead of being mean spirited, it says mean and spirited. That's just pretty awesome. So I don't know if that kind of makes it sound different instead of being mean spirited, you know? Like he's mean, but he's got this nice spiritual side to him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, oh, my bad, Crazy and Beautiful. I don't know who she is, but yeah, from this picture, I can see Crazy and Beautiful. She's got this look on her face that's kind of crazy, but she's a pretty attractive woman. Got some nice legs on and some heels, and it's a pretty cool dress she got on. Oh man, fell on the scroll here. Then you got Cruel and Unusual. Who is this guy? He looks familiar.
I don't know. I know the name, but I don't know where.
What did he do? Oh my gosh. You gotta look that up for me.
Already on it.
And then you have Bo. I'm guessing that's Bo Knapp. And instead of Killer Attitude, he's Killer and Attitude, which makes that sound a lot better. Killer Attitude doesn't sound as imposing as Killer and Attitude. Killer Attitude could mean anything. And then you got Shady and Lady, which that's just, I don't know, that's interesting. And so they all sit here, they're all just these like old school 80s style looking posters with these, you know, this nice kind of not so used font type here with the lines that just make up the letter, multiple lines and following the curves, and the way the colors are, and they have there's kind of like a worn look on on the edge, on the border, kind of like a dirty old paper or some kind of filter paper or something like that. Did you find out who that guy was? Yeah.
Have you seen White Collar?
Who?
White Collar?
White Collar, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the guy who's. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, all right. I can't believe I didn't remember that. I haven't seen that show in a while, actually. Um. Okay, so now we have No Stranger Than Love, which its tagline is looking for love in all the wrong places. It's very bland, kind of. I mean, it's got this the nice little cartoony sort of font style for the title, but other than that, it's not really that interesting. And then there's Nuts, which I don't know who is doing this or what, but it's got an award at Sundance. So that's pretty interesting. Salt and Fire, which seems to be some sort of military thing, uh, or something like that. I don't know why that's there. Adult Swim. And not that. Anyway, in the interest of time, let's scroll right here to my boys, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yes, sir. Got new posters for Out of the Shadows, which is, does that have a release date? Because these say coming soon. Oh, okay. May 30th? It says in cinemas Monday, May 30th. Or is that when you book tickets? I don't know. When is this out? I need to figure out when this is coming out. But yeah. So you, huh?
I thought it came out in June.
It might be. I think because this poster says book tickets now, but then it says in cinemas. Okay. I guess you can book tickets online now and then in cinemas on the 30th, maybe. Because I'm like, I don't think a movie comes. There's no way they're putting this movie out on a Monday. That's sales weekend opening sales cannibalism right there. So you got 5 different posters here. You got this one with Leo leaping through the air. Then there's one with Michelangelo on a rocket-powered skateboard with his nunchucks, looking like good old fun-having Mikey. And then there's another one with Leo standing on some sort of platform, but what seems to be some alien, either debris broken into some like pixelated looking bits or some alien stuff going on, or it could be something to do with aliens and this debris just kind of broke off in these square chunks like that. My boy Raphael apparently skydiving in over a jungle. So I'm not sure what that all entails. Maybe they'll have some jungle fighting action. Then you got your boy Donnie. He's got a drone and a holographic screen on his wristband or whatever this Paragon thing he is. It looks like he's got like a cell phone strapped to his freaking.
Looks like a Pit Boy.
Well, yeah, he got the Pit Boy there, but then on the other side, it looks like he's got like it looks like a phone or I don't know what that is. It looks like just a rectangular screen, kind of like a smartphone or something. I don't know, but yeah, that would be like a holographic version of the Pit Boy. So expect holographic Pit Boys in Fallout 5. And that's about the end of that. Oh, and then there's this one here with all of them actually all together. So yeah, that's coming. Look forward to that. And then there's this one. I've heard about this. I actually know what this ticklet is about, I think. I think this is the movie about the guy documenting tickle competitions.
Tickle competitions.
This is a real thing. I kid you not. I heard about this from a YouTube video the other day. Like, there's like guys who actually get like all like trained to go have tickle competitions. I don't even know what that entails. Like, there was very few details on this video. But yeah, that's a thing. tickle competitions. And they're like, if they're like, even in the video, they're like, yeah, it sounds like it's a parody or a comedy. It's not. It's so serious.
Sounds like a fetish.
It does sound like a fetish. But I guess it's a thing. I mean, like I didn't even know that there was like major arm wrestling competitions. So I saw that one video. Oh god, it was just like one video on I guess Netflix a while back about these guys training, and these dudes with these massive arms who like this one guy was like lifting three guys, literally like curling three guys in the air. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's just nuts. So yeah, I guess this is tickle competitions. I don't know. I got to do some more research into that. It sounds completely hilarious, bonkers, wacky. Not my thing. I probably wouldn't watch the whole thing. If I did, I would be watching it for the humor factor and not necessarily taking it seriously. I don't see a point in which that movie comes around to being me being able to take it serious. Especially after I saw Bronies. Tell me you saw Bronies.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Bronies is the term that is used to describe a male who is a fan of
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony's Friendship is Magic. Is that what it is? Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a thing. That's a thing. That is a trend or a subculture of our culture. And these guys collect bronies. They go to, ponies, go to My Little Pony conventions. And they actually are the majority of the population at these My Little Pony conventions for a product and show that was created intentionally to inspire young girls. Now, I'm not going to judge.
I mean, you got people interested in, like Rainbow Dash and Applejack.
Right, but see, me and you, we come to know these names of these characters through little girls in our lives, not by sitting and watching episodes of My Little Ponies. Now, like I said, to each his own. They in the documentary, they really do paint a really decent picture of the fact that it's more about the morals that are taught in there and how the morals actually are kind of universal. But at the same note, it's a show about ponies. I mean, I can't really say too much. I used to watch Powerpuff Girls. I love Powerpuff Girls, but I can kind of rationalize it off of that. But I'm not finna sit and watch My Little Ponies. Yeah, I ain't doing it. Not today. Moving along. So, DJ, you have not seen this awesome show, Silicon Valley. But it is a show on HBO that is a satire, and it involves a group of young men who are coders and software developers who one of these guys ends up making a magnificent piece of software with an incredible algorithm that leads him to incredible amounts of success, frustration, and total weird angst that just come out of nowhere, and the guys that are with him kind of don't help with any of they kind of make it worse half the time. But he makes the software, and at some point they get to this big conference and show called TechCrunch Disrupt, which I assumed from watching this was kind of a parody off of the Consumer Electronics Show that happens every year. But actually, this is a real thing. TechCrunch Disrupt is a yearly conference that is where tech companies come and pitch stuff. And that just happened this past week. So we got a lot of interesting things a lot of interesting topics came out of this. There's Parrot's CEO is working on a new T-shirt now. He didn't really give any specifics about it, and I don't know who this company is. I did not do my due diligence to look into them. I apologize. But this guy is apparently known for throwing curveballs in the tech space, and he's just said he's got something that's coming that has never been seen in T-shirts before. We don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting. This company, Scoutable, has created a pretty cool set of games, and I'm guessing sort of like mini games, but these games might land you a job one day. So they're essentially, like I said, these sort of mini games that you can play, and they kind of help to, well, I can read it from here, but it says these programs test for qualities like risk tolerance, emotional intelligence, response to feedback, and mental processing speed. So I'm not sure how that is, but there's something that they pulled. It's sort of a psychological thing that if you people's responses to certain situations can tell you a lot about themselves. Or a lot about those people. So essentially, that's what these games do. These are actual games, but the way that you react, the way that you play these games can help divulge some of your psyche in a way that a company could go in and look and kind of consider you for employment. What do you think about that, DJ?
I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
You think it's bullshit? Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's get your pseudo expert opinion on this.
All right. Well, there's some games where say we have these games that kind of fit your personality stuff. But then there's sometimes when you try to play Mass Effect, something where you just want to go out and just be an asshole. Now it's not saying that you're an asshole, but you're giving us the opportunity to be an asshole. I mean, naturally, in real life, your moral compass may be too straight to the side. Like, I'm not going to kill this person. But when you play Grand Theft Auto, I'm going to get on the sidewalk and run down every person I see. That doesn't transfer.
Well, no, I get what you're saying there. I think this is more like, okay, it says the games have a variety of themes, including surviving on an island and jumping across floating lava rocks.
All right, let's take that person, for example, surviving on an island. Now, in real life, I maybe try to work with a team, try to get better, yet whatnot. In the game, I'd be like, you know what? I meet John over there. I meet John, and I make everybody else eat John. And once John gets done, I think Claire's over there is bitching. So next time we're gonna eat Claire if we don't get off this island quick enough. Game, not in real life, but in the game.
Hey, all right. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, but let's take it from a different angle. Say it's not like just your traditional game, though. Say like, let's say for instance, this was an application where instead of going in and like filling out an application, you would like they would sit down and be like, okay, well, you want to get hired? All right, cool. Play these games and we'll get back to you. You know, and like it was like, all right, this is your application. You're not filling out a physical form or digital form or whatever have you. You're not like filling out job history and previous, or like references and stuff like that. Like instead of like giving you that, like you went in for a major job and they were like, okay, so we want you to sit down. This will take about 30 minutes. You play these games and once you're done, you leave and we'll call you back. Like, like you're going in with the mindset that, okay, this game is testing my skills. Like say for instance, to be, there's like a game where you have to like manage. You say you're on an island, but instead of like eating people, you're like managing people, putting people in positions to where you can like, be able to survive longer and building a framework.
You know what they should have done? They should get themselves a tablet, put Fallout Shelter on it, and instead of another person. If that's where we're going here.
All right. Well, looks like DJ's no-go on applications
I'm
of
not no-go on
video
it.
games.
I'm not saying I'm a no-go on it. I'm just saying, but what they're talking about, it sounds stupid, but it may be great.
And we never know. I don't know. They seem to have some. I believe they said they've had some pretty good results off of this.
This guy jump rocks too fast. He's gonna be too quick a worker. Don't hire him. What?
I don't know. I think I don't know, but like when I was reading it though, my thought was, have we gotten to the position where like this is how we like? It's like our mind span like to the point where we feel like this is how we need to interview or like consider people for employment. Is this like a handicap? Like, are we saying people's attention span is so short that this is the best way to like consider someone for employment?
I don't think it's that way. I think it's that we've become so ingrained with technology. They're just using it as another platform to interview somebody to make it more efficient.
Okay, yeah, or that. Yeah. All right. Well, we can see what goes on with that. But to continue moving on, let's talk about the List app. I think this is something we're gonna have to get and use. I think this would be cool for some of our record keeping of when we have our conversations with that coworker of ours about who's the best diss rapper of all time and that or the other. Hey, listen, okay. So just for the audience's understanding of the situation, we have a coworker, pretty cool guy, but there are some things going on there. We're not going to get into that. He's a pretty cool guy. That's all I'll say about that. He likes when he finds something about someone that he connects with, that he can talk about. He likes to talk about it. It's his thing. But yeah, he always points out, oh well, this list here said this person was this or this person was that, and so we've had many discussions about who's the best rapper, who's the best lyricist, who's the best singer, who's the best this or the other. He called me with a curveball the other day and was like, who's the best producer? I was like, whoa, oh, I wasn't expecting that one. That was a worthwhile conversation. But anyway, we might need this to put together some of these lists, and we could have a show just based off of these lists, and we could run them down and see if people agree with us more so than they agree with those other people who were completely off base. Because they threw up some stupid stuff on there. Anyway, BJ Novak. Now, if you don't know BJ Novak, he is a producer as well as actor on the hit show The Office, the American version. Is that how that's actually notated? It's like notated differently, or is it just The Office and the British version is notated as the British version? Do you know?
Wait, what did you say? I was reading an article real quick.
Gosh, The Office. When people refer to The Office, there's the English version and there's the British version. Isn't one of them like notated differently in the title, like as the English American version or the British version?
Nope. Both of them say The Office.
They just say The Office. Okay. Well, anyway, BJ Novak is an actor on that show. He is also one of the producers, which is crazy because he's like doesn't have like really a huge part in this. It's like he was just like at some point he was like, I want to get in on this. This seems kind of fun. I want to play around too. He's a pretty cool guy. So he's got this app that they came up with not too long ago that was currently only available for iPhones or iOS devices called, what was it? I forgot what the original name was. The List app. They currently rebranded it as li.st, which I'm assuming is still List. It's now available for Android. And this is simply an app where you can go and make lists. That's it. There's like no killer. I don't know what any of the killer features are to this. You go on this app and you make lists. And they suggested things like albums that changed my life. Just anything. You could just go and make lists if you want to make lists. And I'm assuming you could share them maybe. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. There's an app for lists instead of, just going in your phone's notepad and making a list. But it's free. So if you have Android or iPhone, feel free to download it and make some lists and share them with people because people like lists.
Pretty hilarious, man.
Huh?
I said they're pretty hilarious lists that they have on here.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah, as we were talking, I was downloading it. This is pretty hilarious.
Oh, there are, so it's like you can just go through and look at other people's lists, like say it's a social network.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Well, not exactly a social network, but you can see other people's lists.
Right. Yeah. So if you want to go,
messaging or anything,
if you want to creep on people's lists and see what your favorite porn stars' favorite movies are, sure, go ahead. That way you can stalk her that much more. I'm not advocating stalking. Amazon takes on YouTube with the launch of Amazon Direct Video. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even really read too much into this because I was like, there's no way. It's not gonna work. I think YouTube is too huge of a giant where they are now for Amazon to try to get into a space similar to that. What are you doing?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Nothing. I was still looking at these lists, man.
TJ, moved on from the list. Rolling Amazon Video Direct. Catch up. Gosh.
But no, I heard what you were saying. I'm not lost about Amazon Direct. Yeah, I do agree with you. They're kind of too late to the game. They're like 10 years too late to the game to try to do something like this. Where someone has not just made a niche in it, but they've claimed that market. There's no one else to share it with. There's no room, no extra space, no maybe side market that needs a little bit of help. Because hey, you got YouTube and you got Pornhub and Brazers. They got the video sharing on both markets right there. All the space for video sharing is done. It's done.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm really not sure where they're going with this. Like, it seems kind of as if they say they're trying to compete with YouTube, but it seems more like they're trying to create something for, I don't know, amateur film creators to go in and be able to put something out, kind of get it somewhat published, and create some revenue because revenue because they're able to monetize their videos. They can make them available for purchase or for rent. They can also be available through a subscription add-on for Amazon Prime Video. So I don't know. Competing with YouTube, not going to happen. I know Amazon's big and they have a big brand and a huge name, but you can't compete with what YouTube is. YouTube is one of the top top used search engine, if not the top used search engine in the world. Actually, just to make sure that's a correct fact. Do I really want to click on this? Yes. Top search. Oh, I can't spell. Search engines, and I can't spell stuff. I believe YouTube is, because YouTube is a search engine. List of the top best search engines in the world. Google search engine is the best search engine in the world, and it is also one of the most popular products from Google. Bing, I don't know why they don't list YouTube here. There was something I read before that actually labeled YouTube as a search engine.
Type in is YouTube a search engine, you still get the same result.
Huh?
You get the answer.
What was that?
Just type in is YouTube a search engine. You'll get your answer that way.
Well, no, I know it is. I wasn't. That's not what I was trying to find. Is YouTube a search engine? Yes, it is. I know that. The second largest search engine. Okay, I'm sorry. This is actually what I had seen, and this is kind of old, so it might be a little out. The statistics might be a little bit outdated, but let's just kind of run this down because I think this is very interesting. I don't know why that did that. Let me just go back here. So can I? Yeah, there we go. All right. The YouTube, the second largest search engine. Here's facts about YouTube if you didn't know. YouTube is transforming the way we discover information via the web. It processes more than 3 billion searches a month. Okay? 3 billion searches a month. There's no way anybody can compete with that. I'm sorry. Even if you just go and search on Google, you're basically searching through YouTube for videos because it's going to pull up YouTube videos as basically your top results 9 times out of 10. Unless you specifically in the search make it to search for another website, such as the only other websites I know where you publish videos like in the same way you would do on YouTube are break.com and Dailymotion, and neither one of those is really as huge as a platform. They just have more flexibility and less restrictions, which makes them more accessible for certain types of content that people would not be able to find on YouTube. But if I want to go and find a video of cats getting scared by cucumbers, I'd probably go to YouTube. Just saying.
I agree.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's something they're announcing they're trying to push, but you know, I don't see it happening.
I won't say it's a waste of time, Bob, but I'm surprised that no one in the marketing team was just like, maybe we should think about this twice.
But I mean, it like I said, this seems to be geared more towards making small films, or I guess maybe if somebody wants to create a small series that they want to put out and charge a certain price for or something. I mean, I don't really understand the purpose of that either.
Because you can say someone wants to create a small film or a small series, but look at like Mortal Kombat Legacy and stuff like that that's on YouTube. That is a small series. This is a web series. Video Game High School, web series. All on YouTube, all of it free. They get paid based off advertisement revenue and all that stuff like that. But it's still free and it's still a series. So that still makes it irrelevant to go to try to do Amazon in the same way you would do YouTube in that fashion.
I guess so. I mean, it says here that they'll pay 50% of the retail price for digital purchases or rentals and subscription fees. So,
that changes the game a bit right there.
Yeah, a bit. So I don't know. Again, I don't see this being as a competition for YouTube unless you consider specifically somebody trying to create shows like that. You wouldn't see the Philip DeFranco show go to this model or go here, because who's going to go and pay to watch Philip DeFranco for 5 minutes a day for whatever that might cost when you can watch it for free on YouTube, and he still gets that money. Or if you're paying for, YouTube Red, he's still getting money off of that as well. So he's going to get paid off of his views regardless, but he would need to charge for it. And this is something where they're specifically going for somebody trying to sell a product. So I don't know who, like I said, other than amateur film studios or production companies who are trying to put something out there, who want actual, numbers or what would appear to be, actual sales of a product. This doesn't really compete with Amazon except for with its partners. So I don't know. It's a bit, the way they pitched the article, I think, is just a bit misleading. It's my point on that. This isn't really them going on to take on YouTube. So, but kudos to them for trying something. More tech news. The inventor of the cell phone is partnering with a company called what was the name?
With E, didn't it?
It kind of Energis, I believe. Stop playing sound. Stop. Okay. Energis. They are okay. So just a little backtrack. There are companies who are creating different ways for people to generate power for their mobile devices. As we all know, going through the day with a fully charged phone is really hard, especially if you're somebody who's always tweeting or always on Skype or always texting or always searching for this or looking for that. Or you use your phone for work purposes, or whatever whatever you may need it for. Sometimes going through the day with a full charge on your phone is incredibly hard. And one place where we're really lacking in innovation in what our mobile devices are giving us is in battery life. So far, the only solution that we've really had that's not, I'm sure there are plenty of things that are in research development at this moment, but the only thing we've really had is bigger batteries, which has only led to having bigger phones. So the getting some feedback there, I think.
No, that's not you. I was just apologize. That's probably my dog snoring.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what? Okay.
Tired.
So what this is, what these companies are doing there's things like, I've heard of, like, even before this, I've heard of things like people making jackets where, like, the more you walk, like the friction from you walking or something creates power, and like has something you plug into your phone, like in your pocket. So things like that. Other solutions outlines like in here are wireless beams. I've heard of like using Wi-Fi to charge phones. But this company that Energis, this company Energis that's working on a solution for really wireless charging has come up with is through radio waves. Now, what's really interesting about this, what really makes this sound more promising than anything, is the fact that the guy who invented the phone thinks this is a great idea. He's backing them. He sits on their board. That's like a huge vote of confidence when somebody who created a platform is behind you, actually expanding it and making it greater. That's like somebody truly passing the torch. So that's pretty interesting. Now, they've gotten, at this point, this article said that on Monday they would have their FCC approval for this transmitter. the transmitter that they need to do this. But at the time, this will only be used for tiny electronics, is what they said. And by tiny, they didn't even say cell phones. They described maybe
Heart monitors.
hearing aids.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking extremely tiny. I could see possibly a fit band, depending, but from what this sounds like, even smaller than that. I would think a heart monitor will probably be about the same size, but it just all kind of depends. So they don't really get into too much detail. Like, how prominent are radio waves in our day, though? You know, like, is it just like free falling radio waves going through the air? Like, there radio stations still exist, so we're still pushing radio waves almost over 100% of the world every day. Well, not over 100% of land, or I don't know. Some countries don't have radios. I should shut up.
I would say some countries. I'd say some civilizations. That'd be more effective to say.
Oh, okay, exactly. Some civilizations don't have radios. Third world countries and places like that. So, third world countries probably would also not have cell phones. So I guess that wouldn't hurt them too much. That's messed up.
A bit.
But so I don't know. Like, it mentioned something about an extension for something going short distances, but it said a few inches. Next, Energis hopes to launch technology that can charge small devices at a slight distance, but then it says a few inches. So are we looking at wireless charging that's possibly going to be, I don't know, you don't necessarily have to put your phone on a pad. You can have it like, maybe this thing is.
Now I wonder how far this technology will go. Like, can you be on a bus and it just charges up while you're not using it, or even while you are using it? And how would they kind of how would they regulate that payment type system?
Yeah, I don't know. We're kind of sitting in the middle between facts and speculation on this one, because I mean, like, what it sounds like is what would be so cool is if you had this thing and it was like picking up radio waves from everywhere. Just you could put your phone. You get up in the morning, you grab your phone, you walk out the door, and all throughout the day while your phone's in your pocket, you don't have to worry about charging it. But I don't think that's what we have here, because it's saying charging over small distances. So,
Plus, you have to have their type of technology to do it. So, like, would they pay you to install it, like in your car, or pay an office to install it in their building? That way, they can receive the proper.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of part of the questions here. So this does sound cool. It does. My only concern, my biggest concern here, is what does that charging? Are we going to have to move to, once this technology becomes prominent? Are we going to have to move to a new form of battery? Because constantly charging a lithium ion battery is going to wear that battery down in almost an instant. Like that, mobile devices would not have nearly the same lifespan if it's constantly charging through these waves, unless it's not as intensive to the point where.
I wouldn't even consider that. Maybe they do something like where you can clip something on the back of the phone to charge it.
That too. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's really awesome to think that there could be a point in our life where we no longer have to worry about, is my phone going to die? Now, maybe if you're in an area where you aren't receiving those radio waves that you would need to power your device, you're going to be SOL. But as far as your normal day goes, hell, have at it. walk around everywhere. You play all the games you want. Your phone gonna be fully charged 100%, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, they would find some way to regulate that. But I mean, because now I'm trying. Nikola Tesla probably got knocked off because he was just giving the world free electricity.
Yeah,
Just say.
yeah. All right. So, staying with the tech theme, DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft says AI is the most important technology on the planet.
That guy should be choked with a pair of jeans.
Tell me why he should be choked, DJ.
Dude, man, like I told you before, like I tell everybody else, have you seen iRobot? Terminator, they made a trilogy. Ex Machina. Movies explaining why AI could potentially be a clusterfuck of a mess up for us. The Matrix. The fucking Matrix.
That's right. Yeah.
Not trying to be mean, don't get me wrong. I get excited about new technology. I get extremely excited about it. But there are some things Stephen Hawking has said that this could be the downfall of mankind. Stephen Hawking.
Yep. Yep. I mean, yeah, there are many articles or movies or documentations from our past that point us to the notion that this could be a terrible thing. While AI is wonderful for aiding us in parts of our life, having machines that are fully capable of thinking, feeling, and understanding the same way a human does, and that becomes self-aware to the point that it knows that it is actually working or enslaved by someone who's not nearly as intelligent, not nearly as capable, is a dangerous process
Yeah, for
or
example,
prospect.
you have Mass Effect with the Geth, if anybody plays Mass Effect, or there was another example I just had on my head too. iRobot would be another great example where technology has become so improved upon itself that it doesn't need its creators. It's better than its creators.
Mm-hmm.
And keep advancing and keep going. And maybe to some point they'll go out of whack and be like, hey, we do this, hey, we don't need to help anymore. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean about the human race, but we do stupid shit because it's just possible. If Jurassic Park was possible right now, we'd be having T-Rexes running up and down streets right now that no one could control. I guarantee it.
Yeah. So yeah, no, yeah. If it gets to the point where your smartphone starts telling the person that you call wife or husband or significant other, when your phone starts texting the pictures that the girl or guy you sleeping with from around the corner has sent you, and starts forwarding all your text messages, just know we warned you this would happen.
It's
Because
not
your
even that.
phone ain't having that.
Or this could also take away the potential AI if it gets that far. I don't know if it get that far in a lifetime. Depending on how stupid we are, it may get that far. Not trying to insult the human race, but we do stupid shit.
Oh, we are dumb.
But where it takes the place of human interaction, like computers and stuff is already doing now. And it's not saying it's making us less as a species, but it is taking away that human interaction that did connect us. Where someone could be like in Futurama, you could date yourself for Lucy Liu.
I would love to date Lucy Liu.
And then it could go so far. I mean, we're already recreating hearts and stuff. Who could say you could date a cyborg who could have children? Hell, we are literally creating hearts right now.
Mm-hmm.
How far would it be to go to create a uterus if we finally do understand it? Get eggs and stuff. You create some, or vice versa for a woman. Create a man who can actually deliver real sperm. You don't actually need to go find yourself another human to be with if you didn't want to in the first place. I mean, don't get me wrong, lesbians and gays, they can still have kids and stuff, just different methods, but I'm just going by the straight, by a heterosexual route.
Right.
Well, you would need to go find yourself another partner. You can just call yourself up, 1-800 find me a spouse. Boom. You got you one.
Download them
Other
in
life
3D print them in a
expectancy,
second.
eye color, hair color, how they act. You could have that all just perfected.
Yep. So yeah, no. And some people look at me crazy when I say this, but I'm telling you, at some point, as technology grows, as AI grows, as advancements and either generating artificial hearts or organs and recreating them with machines, as those things all grow, there will be a point where there becomes humans, robots, and the in between, either cyborgs or androids or whatever you want to call them. And there will be some issues there. There will be, because robots won't necessarily stand for the cyborgs and the androids, because they're inferior beings to them still, and so are we. But whatever. The human cyborg robot civil revolution or war will happen at some point in time. But you can call me a nut job. I don't care. I see the future. AIs are great, but sometimes you gotta know when to cut that cord, man. Um, okay, how about this one? A Windows 10 auto updating ruins a gamer's live stream. Did you hear about this?
I saw it live. I didn't have to hear about it.
Oh,
I
you
saw
saw
it.
it. Damn.
I saw
That's crazy. Like, we're not going to spend too much time on this one. It's kind of self-explanatory. But Windows 10 has an auto update feature, and this guy was streaming. He's playing and he's streaming, and his system decided, hey, I need an update. And it cut his stream because it reset the system. That's terribly frustrating. So that's got to be worked on, Microsoft. Get your shit together.
it. That's an understatement. That's a hell of an understatement.
You know what? You know what I don't have here that I actually wanted to talk about? NVIDIA.
Oh, you talking
NVIDIA's
about the
new
new
graphics
graphics
card.
card?
Yes.
Woo!
The 1080, and it's twice as battery efficient or power efficient, and almost half the cost of their current top of the line model, which is incredible. So if you're into building PCs or you're looking to it, in NVIDIA's current top graphics card, it's 980 graphics card is an incredible card to have, and that thing is about to go on sale, or has gone on sale. Like, where it used to be $600, this thing is like $300 now. Now that might not sound cheap, but considering the cost of building a PC, that's nothing to sneeze at. Awesome. Kind of some other little quick bits here. Bing, which is Microsoft search engine, says that 25% of all searches are voice searches, which I can believe. With like all the millennials now having phones, I can see that people. I even sometimes, or even yourself, DJ. We there's been instances where we're looking for something, and it's quicker to just hit
Say
a
it instead of just type it in.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you don't know how to spell. Sometimes when I don't know how to spell a word, I'll go to Google and say the word, and hopefully it understands me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And you get the spelling of the word, because that's cool. I don't think that's anything shocking. I don't know if they figured that to be too low or too high, but I don't know. The only thing about it is, like, I think the reason why it's so low, and mostly because there's kind of this stigma. We're kind of, especially like myself, being in this sort of in between generations where people always were outside playing, and then this generation where kids are always inside gaming. There's this kind of thing, like, you'd be like, oh, I don't want to sit here and I got people sitting around me and I want to search for something, and you might just be in your own little bubble, and it's like, well, I don't want to sit here and yell out tentacle porn, and be like, whoa, what? You know what I'm saying?
And then, with like Google and Bing, I'm not sure about Bing. I haven't tried it too much with Bing. I know with Google, when you do that, you know, Cortana, she reads off those first couple of lines for you, just in case you didn't want to read it yourself.
Oh
Hello,
man.
tentacle porn is et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, unless you got a Bluetooth headset in, everybody get to hear
Yeah.
it.
So, I mean, I think, but even if you weren't searching for something that, as obvious as tentacle porn, it could be something obscure to the point where it just doesn't make sense out of context to people. And you're still sitting here talking to your phone, asking it questions, and people will still probably look at you weird. And people just don't want that sort of, attention. Yeah. So, I don't know. Interesting. I do sometimes do it. Like I said, most of the time I don't, either just because I'm just so used to typing things. And it's just not the first thing that comes to mind. But if it's a situation where I'm like, I know I can't type and I need a quick fix, I use voice more to make phone calls, especially when I have my headset on and I can just hit the thing and make the phone call, especially when I'm got other things going on and I'm busy and moving my hands or whatever the case may be. Da, 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 da. Tech. I, I think some of these other ones aren't really necessary. Mobile phones don't cause brain cancer. I kind of figured that. Um, and I don't know. Okay, so kind of moving along, switching gears, getting away from tech. Let's go over to some music. Drake's Views album, which we talked about last week because there was a article posted about why he decided to pull Kanye West and Jay-Z's verses from one of his songs. Broke a record for streaming. How about that? And it was not only available on Tidal when it released. So
What are you talking about? He don't deal with Tidal.
exactly, that's the point. I was kind of trying to take a shot at Tidal, but
Hey, man.
hint, anybody that owns Tidal, if you hearing this, release your stuff somewhere else. Like, no, here's the thing. I think Tidal would be successful if they got smart and stopped trying to release just the album, or exclusively release their albums and did something more forward thinking, like releasing exclusive content through it. Like, yeah, you can go get the album there, but you can get it here and you can get bonus content. You can get behind the scenes stuff. You can get this, that, or the other, or you can get bonus songs. Yeah, or you can, that. Or, you can stream it here, but you can also get a copy that you can download and own for half the price. Like, come on, think of something. Like, don't just sit here and just be like, yeah, we're gonna release an album. By the way, if you don't own our streaming service, you can't listen to it for the next month. Nobody's gonna buy into your service just because. Like, listen, the problem, other than that, the other biggest problem is kind of what we were talking about earlier with YouTube is market saturation. Like, when there's already big name client or systems out there that do the exact same thing yours does, and people have been using those already, and they're subscribing and they're paying money to it already, they're not really looking to throw down another 10 to 20 bucks for another streaming service when they already have Apple Music or Spotify or Google or Pandora One or whatever, you know what I mean? Or like Slacker. Is Slacker even still a thing? I stopped using Slacker years ago. I don't really hear about them too much, but when there's so many systems out there like that, not to mention you consider people who subscribe to Netflix and Hulu and HBO Go and Amazon Prime, video, like all these different things people can stream to. Like, at some point, all these different subscriptions start to add up over time, as you get more of them. So there's no reason for me to go and start a subscription with some other music service just for exclusive or just for like early access to albums that will come out later and are just for a handful of artists who might not necessarily all be that worth it to me. Maybe you're just a fan of Beyonce and you want to hear Beyonce's music, or maybe you're just a fan of Kanye, but there's not necessarily there doesn't necessarily have to be room for crossover with those two people because they have two different music types. So to say that why would I want to go pay $10 to $20 a month to listen to one artist that I like? It doesn't make sense. So there's definitely room for them in the space, I believe, but they have to make their product interesting enough to gain those customers. The same thing that PlayStation did when they released PlayStation Now. I mean, not PlayStation Now. Oh my God, no. PlayStation Plus. It was like, well, you could pay for Xbox Live, or you could come play for PlayStation Plus, and on top of being able to play your games online, you get a couple games free every month. That as long as you pay the subscription, you have the ability to pay or play. You gotta do something. I don't know. They'll figure it out. Hopefully. Because I don't know how well they're doing. I haven't really looked into it, but I'll probably look into that at some point soon here. But anyway, shout out to Drake for breaking the streaming record and selling, he said, what was it, 600,000 copies the first night?
Yep.
Yeah, first day, 600,000 copies sold. That's big. Because when I look at most hip-hop albums, man, like, gosh, they don't sell that well these days. People just don't buy music because they can stream it or they can get it for free via other methods that aren't necessarily legal, but whatever. Oh yeah, this past weekend was Mother's Day, so shout out to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. Also shout out to Tupac. Rest in peace. And this article just kind of goes into how, the lives of these mothers have affected the artists who bring us some of the better hip hop music that we listen to. I found this article here. Some people may remember the big shooting that happened at Dark Knight Rises. There was a massive shooting. Somebody had a gentleman with some assault rifles and I believe a handgun or something. He had a couple guns on him. Went and shot people who were in line waiting to watch this movie at a specific theater here. Now, first of all, when you have stories like this where people go and like heinously murder innocent people for no reason, every time you're dealing with somebody who's dealing with something, okay, that person has something that they're struggling with in their life, and that person needed help and didn't get help. So when you see someone who might be, they look like they kind of like feel like an outcast. They might be depressed all the time. Like those people need attention, and those kind of people, and that's not to say all of them. Some people just like to be a loner, but when you see somebody like that, there's a potential for that person to either hurt themselves or others. So if you see somebody who's an outcast, don't mistreat them. Bullying is one of the worst things we can do to anybody on this planet because we're all humans. We all have our flaws. Nobody's perfect. Where you may be what?
I may sound like a dick here, but I'm going to ahead and interject here. You talking about James Holmes, this man who shot up a Century 16 theater with an automatic rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. Because I know the story. I'll have to read the article.
Well, okay. Well, what was the exact story behind it then?
Well, I don't know why he.
Wait. Before you get there, let me finish what I was saying, because there is a main point to what I'm saying though. Like in all those situations, like the Sandy Hook shooting, like that was a kid who was dealing with anger problems and resentment for his mother, because he felt mistreated for whatever reason, and because of that, he lashed out not only against her but against other people. But it was because he felt hopeless. He felt like nobody could understand his problem, or like nobody cared, or nobody, you know, or there may have been some bullying that happened and that added to it. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that these people aren't necessarily not bad. I'm just saying that there's something there that led to that. Nobody gets to that. Well, I won't say nobody gets to that point, because there are terrorist groups out there who do these heinous acts in the name of religion or whatever the case may be. But like when it's a single people shooting like this one, or like the Sandy Hook or the Columbines of America, or the DC snipers, like those are people who have issues for whatever reason that didn't get addressed, and all it took was somebody helping them out. The DC sniper one's kind of a bit of a different thing. I shouldn't even include that as an example in this particular story. That guy was really just kind of off. But like most of the time when these things happen, whatever. But anyway,
he killed 12 people, wounded 70 people during this rampage, and he was so dedicated to killing people and taking their life, he would have. But no, when he got surrounded by police, he gave himself up. And top it off, he was dressed like the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying, because I know every life is supposed to be valued. I agree with that. And everyone should be helped. But do you think that somebody talking to him beforehand would have stopped this? Truly is my question. Do you think that was he just naturally going to do this? Like something like, not trying to be mean, but like fate. Like even if somebody did talk to him about his problems, he probably still would have woke up one day and was like, you know what? Nah.
I mean, you do have those people. I can't say specifically in this case if that's, what happened. But there could be, it's possible that somebody could have sat this dude down, talked to him, and been like, yo, what are you trying to do? I don't think that's a good idea. Let me tell you why. Let me help you out. Let me show you a different way. Maybe we can go and do this. Maybe we can go and do that, and you'll feel better. Show this guy a good time. Maybe he just wanted some coke and hookers in his life, and he couldn't get that. And if somebody with some money would have took him to a strip bar with, a bag full of coke, and then took him out and got him a couple hookers and let him sniff blow off their tits or something, he would have calmed down. I don't know. There was something missing, and it's usually very personal. These people go off because of something very personal. But part of that is, and kind of switches gears, and I don't want to get off too off topic and start rambling. But part of that is because we've conditioned our society to be so soft.
Oh,
like yeah. And I know some people would take offense to that or have a opposing view, but like seriously, I understand there is a need to stop bullying. That's a definite. But I suffered from some bullying things when I was younger, and you know what happened? Somebody sat me down and talked to me and told me, listen, when people act like that, it's because they're jealous of how smart you are and what you can accomplish, and they want to see you fail because they don't feel like they can achieve it, and they want to make themselves feel better than you by seeing you fail. That wasn't the exact word she gave me, but that's what she said. And when I heard that, I took that to heart. And from then on, nothing really bothered me after that, because I always thought that every time anybody said anything about me or made fun of me or did anything, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I moved on with my life. That was a powerful lesson in me. And if we could instill that in people instead of trying to target the people who are causing the problem, which we do need to, but at some point, personal responsibility comes in. And at some point, self-confidence comes in. And at some point, being aware of who you are and what your true value is comes in. And you can't just let people, you can't let what everybody says about you like dictate how you feel about you. You have to feel about you because of who you are. That's why it's called self-confidence. It has to come from within. And if you instill the right knowledge into that person's mind, they can gain that self-confidence and they can gain strength to move forward and not have things like that impact them in a negative way. But like I said, I don't want to really get too into that, but it is kind of relative. But anyway, so all that said, I didn't know that these people, some of these families of these victims and some of the victims themselves were suing the cinema. They're suing Cinemark because they felt like there was some lacking security. And to that I say, well, let's touch on a couple things here. One, when people sue someone, you're suing someone for the expectation of gaining something. 9 times out of 10, it's either you're suing someone to spite them or you're suing someone to gain from them, which kind of sounds like the same thing, but it's not really. You could be suing someone to try to teach them a lesson, or you could be suing someone because you want to actually get money out of them and like pull yourself up because of where they are. But when you have situations like this, where it's a domestic case sort of, or a domestic situation, you can sue a person, but if that person doesn't have money, they can't pay you. The courts can order them to pay you, but if they don't have the money, you're not going to get anything. So usually what happens, and especially with class action lawsuits, which I don't think this is necessarily considered class action. I think there has to be a certain amount of people for it to be class action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is not it's a class action kind of situation, but it's sort of like there was a story in the news about a woman who was driving at 100-something miles an hour, 113 miles an hour, so that she could take a picture of herself on Snapchat because it has a filter that when you take the picture, it posts how fast you are going in that picture. So she wanted to do this, and so she's driving. Now, she did have a passenger in the car, which raises questions of why didn't the passenger take the picture or this, that, or the other. But the major issue is she was sitting here driving at 100-something miles an hour on a 50-mile-an-hour road. That's just heinous, all right? If she was on the freeway and did that, that's still illegal, but it's not as ridiculous as driving on your neighborhood streets doing way more than you should be. And I mean, it probably was an expressway. If there was like I said, the speed limit I heard was around 50 miles an hour or something like that. So, I mean, whatever, that's accessible, but you're still in a traffic filled area. So the person who got hit, which I didn't touch on, but yeah, after she took the picture, she ended up hitting someone, and the person who got hit wanted to sue. Now, this person was like, okay, well, I could sue this woman. I won't get anything, right? And I'm not saying this is exactly what they said. This is more of a theory, and just based off of what I kind of understand about how this works. But instead of suing her or in conjunction with suing her, this person sued Snapchat because
He sued her.
Oh, he said, okay. So sued her and also sued Snapchat because Snapchat has the money to pay whatever it is that this guy feels he should be compensated.
He has permanent brain damage now.
Well, okay. Yeah, I forgot that aspect. Yeah, that's true. That is true. This guy does have permanent brain damage and can no longer take care of himself. And there are going to be medical expenses and things like that. But he wouldn't get that money out of her. So he sued Snapchat, which is a tactic you can use to get that money when you're going after a lawsuit. Of course, it's not necessarily always right. You're suing somebody who's not necessarily at fault, but they placed them at fault for the situation. Um, and the legal jargon that they use was that the feature in the app encourages people to drive faster, this, that, or the other, which is not necessarily true. Because it can be used in a number of different situations. The
Like,
person
see how
had,
fast you run.
yeah, see how fast you run, or if you're in a plane, see how fast you're going on this plane, or
There's
say,
multiple things. Let's put it like a stopwatch. A stopwatch could be used, to blow up a bomb. It also could be used, I don't know, tell time, see how fast your laps are going.
right. The point is, the person completely at fault here is the young lady who was driving the car and taking a photo. Completely at fault here. But because this guy has medical expenses that now needs to be paid and needs to be compensated in some way, he needs the money that he can't get from her. So he went and he sued Snapchat, which, like I said, it's kind of a legal loophole sort of situation. But that's what they had to do. They had to sue the creator of the app in order to try to receive the money
But I
that
think
they
they're going to
wanted.
get it anyway.
Huh?
I doubt they get the money.
I doubt it too, because like I said, it's sketchy. It's a super sketchy way of doing things, and there's no one. I can't see anybody placing Snapchat at fault for this. Like I said, that's a situation of personal responsibility, and that young lady was very irresponsible. So it looks like that's what's happening here. These families are suing Cinemark, and I'm like, they're trying to raise a issue of a security efficient situation, but like, how? Like, there's the thing about this is there was no precedence before this of anybody going to a theater on such a big movie premiere, especially with the fact that how many Batman movies have come out, and this is the first not only movie, I mean, not only Batman movie, but movie ever. But this is the first Batman movie where this would ever happen. There was no precedence of this maybe happening before this. And a movie theater's security at that night is mostly to quell arguments or, keep people in line. It's not to prevent somebody from getting killed, because nobody goes there. No security guard is going there with the expectation of somebody coming with assault rifles and shotguns to murder people. You might expect somebody to be drunk and might have to, disband some disorderly conduct. But you can't put them at fault for that. That's just ridiculous. And that's the kind of a situation we have here. But I guess they're going to trial because Cinemark agreed or felt that they were not at fault. So I guess this thing is going to trial, which I had no clue was even happening. So all I can say is best of luck to everybody in this situation. I don't see Cinemark going down for this one. But we'll see. Only time will tell. We spent quite a bit of time on that. And we're running a little long. We're almost at 2 hours here. So let's close this out real quick. And to close it out, I don't know. Let's close it out on the gaming topic, since we've not really delved into gaming today. Battlefield 1 has a collector's edition for $220. First of all, EA announced Battlefield 1, which sounds crazy if you follow gaming and the Battlefield series is huge, and they just put out Battlefield 4 a couple years ago and Battlefield Hardline last year. And now they have a game coming out called Battlefield 1. Now, why is it called Battlefield 1, DJ?
Home. It takes place in an alternate World War I history, which is a beautiful concept.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you were a history buff, you won't know exactly what the game is now. You can come into it with a surprise now.
Yeah. And that's
And then they
pretty.
explain, like,
Go ahead.
Like, Even drive a cycle built completely different than that one. Same thing with airplanes. There's horseback riding. It is so many incredible things with this one game.
Yep. So they're coming out. They're releasing a alternate World War One storyline and gameplay, and that's awesome. Now the funny part about this is before this all came out, before they announced this, it was kind of leaked. There were some leaks here and there about it, and of course, with any leaks, you gotta take them with a grain of salt. You never know what's real, what's not. But you just gotta be like, all right, some of it sounds plausible. There was some rumors even before Call of Duty revealed its newest game coming out this year that it was going to be a World War One probably, or back to World War Two. But no, they decided to go way into the future. So we're leading up into that whole Elysium time field or time frame, kind of sort of with the newest Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Make what you want of that name. But so there was some ruckus going on with in the gaming sphere when Call of Duty announced their game coming out, because they actually did their announcement first a week prior actually, and they put out a trailer, and then there was some people at DICE or at EA, some video editors who took some pot shots at the way that the trailer looked. Made some remarks about how amateur their editing was, or sarcastically saying how quaint the video was. Now, what's even crazier about this whole situation is, of course, now those people who made those tweets have gone and either deleted or made amends in some verbal form, or some way, written form, I should say, apologizing for their misconduct, essentially. But if you go on YouTube right now, you will see that the Call of Duty trailer is one of the most disliked video on YouTube in YouTube history. And Battlefield's trailer is one of the most liked trailers in all of YouTube. I think it was Battlefield is actually the most liked game trailer based off of views on YouTube. It's the most liked. It's got the most likes of any trailer that's been published on YouTube, with what was it, 600,000 or so?
I think it's more now.
It's probably, yeah, of course there's probably more now. Now there's been some speculation, there's been some digging that I've seen around that these numbers for how many likes and dislikes both of these videos have are so astronomical. This could be the work of some bots, because I think somebody calculated at the time the ratio of dislikes to likes or views on the Call of Duty trailer was 1 in every 10. So essentially 1 in every 10 people who watched that trailer disliked it, was what the calculation was. And the number of people who disliked the Battlefield one was way, way, way less. But there's been some speculation that there's some bots going on there or something, because these videos have only been out for a few weeks, and the videos that they are up with next to for in comparison for either likes or dislikes have been out for years, and it took them years to get to that point. So also, I did not know that Gangnam Style was one of the most disliked videos on YouTube. I actually love that video. Whoever disliked that. Huh? What was that?
I said neither did I.
Oh, yeah. So I thought it was pretty awesome. I love Psy. Psy is awesome. If you hating on Psy, then you got problems. But so Yeah, apparently Battlefield is also they came out with an all-out explanation and or not explanation, but reveal and told all these things. And apparently, I've already announced their collector's edition. Most games don't announce a collector's edition for a while after they first release it, let alone have a price tag on it. I don't even know if they have details for what DLC would probably come with this. They probably don't. But EA has always been known to put out pretty solid games, or at least their Battlefield games have been some pretty solid games with some pretty decent DLC. And we'll see what happens out of this. I'm somewhat excited for it. I don't know. I buy Battlefield games and then I don't just put enough time into them. And there's so many great games coming out, especially with Overwatch and Battleborn this month, and oh my God, all these other great games coming down the line, and I got to put some time in on Uncharted, man, and knock that one out. But
The new DLC for The Witcher 3 comes out this month also.
oh man, okay. You know what's interesting though? What was really interesting to me was how they announced when they announced that this Uncharted game is actually going to have the first piece of story DLC in any Uncharted game ever. And that's pretty dope. So we'll see how that turns out when that's released. That has no release date at this moment. I'm not even sure if there's a release window for it. But we'll see what happens. We got to get through the game first, and there's so much in that game. It's beautiful. If you have a PS4, that is one of the games you need to pick up and play, especially if you're into adventure games. And
I mean, like, if you like Lara Croft and you want something better, Drake is the way to go.
I'm not saying that if you want an awesome adventure game, like I said, that's what you want to pick up if you want a PS4. Not
That's
available.
something somebody played on the Xbox. Like I said, if you want something better, just give you a PS4.
We can't say it's better yet, DJ. Can't say it's better yet. Got to get to the end first. Anyway, so that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be our show. If you want links to all of these articles, check out our Flipboard page or our Flipboard magazine for this episode. We will post a link for that in the description. And thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I want to plug, of course, the great at hxcgaming.com. If you are in the Oklahoma area and you want to get into some gaming tournaments, that's where you want to turn your head to. We are the premier gaming tournament organizer in the state. Again, I want to promote our Summer Madness event on June 4th. We are all in on fighters in this tournament. We have Super Smash Brothers Melee, Super Smash Brothers for Wii U, Tekken Tag Tournament, Guilty Gear, Mortal Kombat XL, Street Fighter V, oh my God, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's going to be a banging time. Details are on the website. They're also on Facebook at facebook.com/HXCgaming, on Twitter at HXCgaming, and Instagram at HXCgaming. DJ, tell the people what you need them to know. What do you want them to know? This is your time. Floor is open to you, sir.
I ain't got nothing for them now. I just hope they appreciate the podcast that we doing.
I as well, yes. We also hope you guys appreciate everything. We will be trying to bring you quality content as much as we possibly can. Sometimes we might, fall and bump our heads, but when we bump our heads, we bump to the sounds of Kendrick Lamar banging. Yeah. And we hit the quan. Hit the quan.
No.
No. Okay. Anyway, like we said, thank you for tuning in. Love you all. See you next week. Peace out.